Hey guys, welcome back. So last week's video we talked about my themes and manifestos for 2019, which were 4 words: commitment, consistency, ownership, and staying grounded. So with themes, to me, they're more big picture, abstract, North Star guiding light. They're not as measurable and they're not as actionable. So this video, we're gonna focus on 9 things I want to do more of in 2019 that are actionable and that are measurable. Like, I'm gonna do this amount of times this year. It's important to create measurable goals because it helps you determine a point in which you've achieved your goal. And I think this is really, really encouraging and motivating. So with all that being said, 9 things I want to do more of in 2019. And thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. They're offering the first 500 people a 2-month premium membership trial. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, I'll leave the link down below and I'll talk more about this at the end of the video. So the first goal of 2019 is I want to take at least 1 full day off every single week. And this may sound kind of silly because it's like, yes, you should have already been doing this already. But if you guys are new, hello, my name's Rowena. I'm kind of addicted to work and I worked a lot 2018, and it is something that I think I needed. I think I needed to do that and to know how hard I could push myself for me to get to where I am today, so that I can find balance and so that I can know the middle ground between the extremes. For this year, really, I want to spend at least 1 full day fully unplugged, fully not thinking about work, fully just fadai, like empty my brain so that I can get more ideas, so that I can have more mental peace, and so that I can not be so stressed all the time. This is something that my mom reminds me of all the time. She's like, Rowena, you're like a battery. You can't keep using and spending yourself. Batteries need to recharge. You do too. And I'm like, okay, mom. But every time she tells me, I'm just like, I'm so busy. I can't recharge, no time. But now I know it's very, very important to recharge. And she always reminds me of this in Chinese almost every other day, 磨刀不误砍柴工, which basically means for you to chop your wood better, sharpening your knife will actually do you more benefit than delay your process of getting done the tasks you need to get done. For us to function optimally, for us to be our best selves, for us to do our best, we need to spend time to just be and exist and recharge so that we can do all the things that we want to do. So the second thing I want to do more of this year is to do one thing that scares me every quarter. So once every 3 months. That'll be 4 things that I do that really, really scares me. So I think for the most part, I've gotten to a point in life where I don't freak out over things as easily. I don't get as emotional when things happen, because I think enough has happened in my life where I'm just like, okay, instead of freaking out and stressing and being overly anxious, because it's really not going to do anything about the situation at hand, how can I deal with this? Or like, what can I do to make the situation better? Or what can I do to make me not as scared or make me not as freaked out? Anyway, being more introverted and just being a human, I think we all have some degree of social anxiety, or if you just care a lot about what other people think of you, which I actually do. Fear of judgment, fear of people misunderstanding you, fear of just all of these things that I want to really face head on and just do these things regardless of all of these fears, of all of these things that used to hold me back. So for example, public speaking, consulting gigs. On my channel, I've mostly focused on self-care, personal development, these kinds of things. But there's another side of me that I have kind of just tucked a little bit away, which is like the more business, marketing, branding, advertising side that I want to develop. Probably not here, maybe on here. I don't know if you guys want that, but like maybe start a blog, maybe start a podcast. Just do one thing that I've been wanting to do, but I haven't because I didn't have time, or that I'm afraid of, like whatever. So no more of that. One thing every quarter. They should be pretty awesome things. I don't know what they are yet, but they'll come as they come, and you guys will be the first ones to know. The third thing is I want to start giving back. I talked about this a little bit in my 26 things I learned at 26. Giving back in terms of monetary donations to nonprofits I really care about, like Shenyun. I did that last year. I'm going to continue doing that this year. Beyond that is, how can I give back by being present more? So like, what I'm trying to say is, this is a very digital relationship. It's a very digital presence. And while this is nice and while this is great because I can reach so many of you with just one video, I want to really be able to turn this like very, I wouldn't say it's like a fake relationship, but it kind of is. I'm literally talking to my camera and you guys are literally watching me from a screen, and I want to break that. Like, I want to come through the screen. I want to be able to meet you guys in real life. So more meetups, more speaking engagements, these types of things, doing more events with kids in high school or in college, and just giving back my time to people like you who have spent your very precious hours watching me and supporting me and doing the things that I do. So that will be 4 times this year, and as we are on 4, we're also going to move on to 4. So number 4 is I want to have a healthier relationship with my phone. So with this, I really want to figure out a way to live harmoniously and peacefully and just well with my phone, and I guess social media in general, because social media is an extension of what comes with this. So with that, it's how can I use my phone for good? How can I use it to benefit my life and benefit the work that I'm doing? And how can I use it to enhance my life? With all of that, yes, like how can I be and how can I live as intentionally and as conscientious while still having this thing? I think for the past few years, it's been, this is a new thing, it's a new gadget, it's a new toy, like I just want to spend all my time on it. But now that I feel like we're getting to a stage where you know what your phone does for you, you know what it can do to you. Keeping all of that in mind, I want to develop a healthy relationship with my phone where I'm not insanely dependent on it. And that's another thing and another topic that I can get into as well. Just addiction to social media and just addiction in general. But anyway, I'm just gonna spend a day or two. I think I just need to spend an afternoon to really figure out what this is and figure out what I want to do. So that'll be a video on its own. So the 5th thing is I want to sleep earlier and I want to wake up earlier. I feel like I've been talking about this all year, and it's kind of ironic because my how to wake up at 4 a.m. video has gotten a very huge bump in views within the past couple of days. Yeah, I haven't been doing that in a while now because life happens and you go through periods of your life and seasons of your life where you can do certain things and you want to live a certain lifestyle, and there comes a time where you can no longer do that because you're working later, because you, for whatever reason, you just cannot adhere to that schedule. But I do know, having observed myself very intensely under a microscope for the past 2-3 years, I know for a fact that if I sleep early and if I wake up early, I'm far more productive and I feel a lot better. This is measurable daily, and I don't know if I'm going to actually like write down every single day when I woke up and when I went to bed. Maybe I should. I think I will do that. And this goes along with sub point within this of how like waking up early, sleeping early. I want to keep like a daily planner / daily journal where I plan out the next day the night before, and I want to also set a very strict nighttime routine, which can also be another video. And the 6th thing is that I want to meditate for at least 30 minutes a day, along with what I just said about the planner of keeping track of when I go to sleep and when I wake up. I'm also going to keep track of if I meditated for at least 30 minutes. So the goal is actually for me to meditate for an hour every single day. An hour just seems so daunting. It sounds so much more unachievable than just like 30 minutes. 30 minutes, totally doable, totally fine. Either in the morning, either at night, I can find 30 minutes out of my day. This is why it's important to set measurable and realistic goals, because I think as humans, and what I used to do before, it's like, I'm like, shoot for the moon. I want to do all of these things, and when I don't do it within the first week, I'm just like, oh my god, I suck, I failed. Like, I'm just gonna completely scrap this and I'll work on it for the rest of the year. So it's important to set measurable and also very very realistic goals for yourself so that you can actually do the things you want to do. And it's kind of like baby wins and small wins as well. Like what my mom says to me all the time, 小小的改变，大大的不同. Little small incremental changes will lead to big achievements in the long run. So meditation, it's very good for me and it's very good for us in general, but it's just finding time to do it, and 30 minutes out of my day, very doable. The 7th thing is to read more. I have a lot of books that I've been meaning to read, that I want to read, but because of this excuse of me being too busy and having no time, I haven't been reading. So those of you who have been asking me for book recommendations, books that I've been loving, I haven't been able to respond because from what I can remember, the only book that I finished was Timekeeper. I think I started a lot of books, but I didn't finish many. I want that to change this year by finishing 1 book a month, every single month for the whole year. So that's 12 books by the end of the year. 12 is enough and it's not too daunting. It's very doable, it's very realistic. But in the ideal world, of course, I read more than 12. This is just getting me back in the habit of reading, of making time to read, of carving out time out of my nighttime routine, my very strict nighttime routine where it's I leave work at a certain time. No later than that, I come home, I do the things I want to do, meditate, read, skincare, whatever it is I want to do, go to bed, wake up the next morning, rinse and repeat, do everything over again. So yeah, for someone who really does not like routines, I find that I actually need a routine. Desperately. So the 8th thing I want to do more of is to cook more. I feel like within the past 6 months, half a year, I might have touched my stove maybe 5 times, and that's very strange for me because I usually cook all the time. I usually make all of my meals. I usually eat really clean, but I haven't been doing that. But that's something that I wish to change this year. So at least one day, I'm gonna cook for one day, which can help meal prep for the rest of the week. And this is attainable. It's very realistic. Just do groceries at least once a week. Maybe that. Do groceries at least once a week so that I can cook myself a couple of meals. Because overall, I feel like my body, I used to care more about how I look, so I'll eat healthy so that I can look a certain way. But now that it's not about that anymore, it's more about I just want to be healthy. Definitely want to go back to cleaner eating, more vegetables, more healthy stuff, more superfoods. Nerd out about those things as well. So I think the core of all of these goals is really just to make more time to do the things that I know will be good for me. Commitment to taking care of myself. Ownership in the things that interest me, consistency in doing these things, and staying grounded by making time for myself. Just slid in all of my themes to this. Okay, so the last thing, the 9th thing that I want to do is I want to learn more. So this goes hand in hand with reading more, with cooking more, with all of the previous points. I've expressed this before in my previous videos where I feel like I haven't been learning as much as I used to because I've just been so preoccupied by this. Again, I'm so glad that I went through what I did and I'm kind of still going through it and I get to continue going through it. But moving forward, I want to work far more smarter than just working myself like a mule and just putting in long hours. The thing that I'm doing, it requires creativity. It requires me to be inspired. It requires me to want to feel like I want to share things that matter to me. And if I'm just stressed all the time, I can't keep just sharing me being stressed and then me being not stressed and then me being stressed and then me being not stressed. So with all of that, I want to learn more. And with this, I am committing to 1 course a month on Skillshare. Same thing with reading. Ideally, I do more than 1 course a year. I just do whatever course that interests me because Skillshare courses generally range from like 15 minutes to an hour and a half, which in the grand scheme of things, honestly, it's not much. It's very bite-sized, digestible pieces that you can come back to. So what Skillshare is, for those of you who aren't familiar, Skillshare is an online learning community for creators. There's classes on design, photography, business, lifestyle, productivity, so many things. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even your career, Skillshare is a perfect place for you to get started and for you to learn and thrive in 2019. So there's 3 courses that caught my eye. The first one is how to use Gmail to maximize your productivity with Evernote. Also a course on bullet journaling that I'm actually very fascinated by. If you guys have watched my videos for a while and if you kind of understand who I am and the things that I like, you guys are probably like, why doesn't she bullet journal? And it's like, I ask myself the same question, why don't I bullet journal? And I don't have a good answer. I haven't. Last year was all about not having time. So this year is all about committing to myself, committing to the things that I want to learn, committing to the things that I want to do more of, committing to my creativity, committing to my growth. So dramatic. So what that is just a combination of like, yes, these are all the things that I want to learn. And at the core of everything is just, I want to make more time for myself and for doing the things that I know can help me improve my life and help me make my life better. And with all of that, thank you again for watching this video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, amazing start to your new year. I said this in my last video and I felt like all of you guys had the same feeling that 2019 is going to be a really great year. So keep fighting the good fight. I can't talk, dude. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep believing in yourself. Keep dreaming. Stay strong. You can do this. You're not alone. And let's do this.